There is a plant pharmaceutical companies cannot control. It grows easily, costs almost nothing, and has saved millions of lives. Its discovery earned a Nobel Prize. But while pills and patents are tightly managed, this plant in its natural form remains pushed to the margins despite its proven power. By 1967, malaria was killing more soldiers than bullets in the jungles of Vietnam. Standard treatments were failing. Chloroquine and quinine could no longer stop the parasite. Experimental drugs barely slowed it, and the infection adapted faster than science could respond. Entire military operations were at risk, not from the enemy, but from an unstoppable microscopic killer. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers were dying each year, creating panic among governments and military leaders worldwide. Even the most advanced laboratories had hit a dead end. In desperation, Chinese researchers turned to centuries-old medical texts for clues modern science had ignored. Hidden within these ancient pages, they didn't find a new drug. They found a humble plant with a molecule capable of reshaping medicine and challenging conventional pharmacology. In 340 AD, the Chinese scholar Ge Hong wrote a medical handbook listing hundreds of remedies for fevers, infections, and other ailments. One plant kept appearing repeatedly, Qing Hao, now known as Artemisia annua, or sweet wormwood. Ge Hong's instructions were unusually precise. Soak a handful in water and drink it, without boiling. Generations of physicians ignored this detail, yet this tiny plant would later save millions of lives and shake the foundations of modern medicine. In 1971, a subtle detail became a breakthrough. Tu Youyou, a pharmaceutical chemist, realized that heat destroyed the plant's active compound. By using Ge Hong's original low-temperature method, she isolated a molecule that annihilated malaria parasites. This discovery saved millions of lives and proved that carefully studied ancient wisdom could outperform modern science. Sometimes, the key to solving the world's deadliest problems had been hidden in plain sight for centuries. By the late 1960s, malaria had reached a global crisis, and drugs like chloroquine and quinine were failing everywhere. The Chinese government launched Project 5-2-3, a secret military initiative to find a cure before malaria wiped out troops. Over 240,000 compounds were tested with no success, each failure raising the stakes. In 1969, Tu Youyou and her team turned to traditional Chinese medicine, carefully studying over 2,000 historical remedies. Their breakthrough came when they returned to the ancient instructions for Qing Hao. Unlike modern methods that boiled the plant, Tu Youyou used a low-temperature extraction to preserve its active compound. In October 1971, this produced a molecule that completely killed malaria parasites in mice and monkeys. Showing extraordinary courage, she tested it on herself to confirm safety for humans. This blend of ancient wisdom and modern science created Artemisinin, a drug that would save millions and transform the global fight against malaria. By 1971, Tu Youyou had achieved what modern science could not, isolating a compound from sweet wormwood that efficiently killed malaria parasites. Tests in mice and monkeys were perfect, but human safety remained uncertain. In an extraordinary act of courage, Tu and two colleagues became the first human subjects, consuming the extract themselves. After confirming its safety, clinical trials began, and every patient recovered. The compound, first called Qing Hao Su, and now known worldwide as Artemisinin, revolutionized malaria treatment. Its success proved that ancient medical knowledge, when carefully studied, could outperform modern pharmaceuticals. In 2015, Tu Youyou became the first scientist from mainland China to win a Nobel Prize in Physiology or medicine. Her achievement showcased the untapped potential of traditional remedies and inspired researchers around the world to revisit history for solutions to modern health challenges. Artemisinin's power comes from its unique chemistry. Hidden in sweet wormwood leaves is an endoperoxide bridge, a rare structure acting like a microscopic bomb. Malaria parasites depend on iron inside red blood cells, and when Artemisinin enters, the bridge reacts, releasing free radicals that destroy the parasite. It kills malaria faster than any other drug. Its potential goes further. Cancer cells, which contain even more iron, may also be vulnerable. Artemisinin doesn't just treat symptoms, it attacks the core weakness of deadly cells. This discovery proves that nature, carefully studied, can outsmart decades of pharmaceutical development, and offers a blueprint for global health solutions yet to be fully explored. Even though Artemisinin had already saved millions, it became a target for control. Pharmaceutical companies and global health organizations focused on centralization and profits over accessibility. By 2024, the Artemisinin market is worth tens of millions, dominated by giants like Sanofi, producing semi-synthetic versions. Yet, a single packet of Artemisia seeds costs just $5, grows in poor soil, and requires almost no care. A simple solution hidden in plain sight. Backyard gardens could supply months of malaria treatment, completely bypassing expensive pharmaceuticals. This simple reality threatens corporate profits, which is why authorities push extracted pills over homegrown plants. The story of sweet wormwood reveals a deeper conflict: life-saving potential versus economic control. Access to a centuries-old remedy is often blocked not by science, but by the interests of those who profit from centralized, high-priced drugs. Sweet wormwood's power extends well beyond malaria. Both Artemisia annua and its cousin Artemisia absinthium are potent antiparasitics, able to eliminate tapeworms, roundworms, and pinworms. Studies in humans and livestock show compounds like thujone and sesquiterpene, lactones paralyze and expel parasites effectively. In areas where conventional drugs are expensive or scarce, this plant provides a cheap, accessible solution for millions. The plant grows easily, needs little care, and has been used safely for over 1,000 years. Yet international health organizations remain mostly silent on its potential beyond malaria, prioritizing pharmaceutical solutions instead. This selective focus highlights a recurring problem. Remedies that can generate profit are promoted, while natural solutions that empower communities are overlooked or suppressed. Sweet wormwood could transform global healthcare, offering a powerful, accessible tool against parasitic diseases, if people were allowed to use it freely. The history of wormwood shows the dangers of fear and misinformation. In the late 19th century, Artemisia absinthium, the main ingredient in absinthe, was blamed for madness, violence, and moral collapse in Europe. Even famous figures like Van Gogh and Oscar Wilde drank it. Yet one tragic murder in 1905 was enough to condemn the plant. Prohibitionists created the myth of absinthism and pushed bans that lasted nearly a century. Modern tests on vintage absinthe showed negligible thujone levels, proving the plant itself was not toxic. The real problem was alcohol and adulterated spirits. This history reveals how quickly economic and social interests can ruin a plant's reputation, even one with real medicinal value. Today, the lesson is clear. Fear and regulation are often used to control access to powerful plants like wormwood, protecting corporate profits while keeping natural remedies out of reach. Today, wormwood stands at the intersection of science, profit, and access. Even after 1,600 years of safe use and a Nobel Prize, authorities still caution against growing it at home. Pharmaceutical companies profit from centralized production and expensive pills, while communities could be self-sufficient with just a $5 packet of seeds. Programs by organizations like Doctors Without Borders prove Artemisia-based treatments can be standardized and effective without corporate control. Yet, widespread cultivation is discouraged, showing that access, not efficacy, remains the real barrier. The story of this plant highlights the clash between traditional knowledge, natural remedies, and profit-driven systems. It exposes a harsh reality. Who truly benefits when life-saving plants are kept out of reach? In the ongoing struggle between health and corporate interests, wormwood's legacy challenges the status quo, pushing people to rethink what they accept as standard medicine. Artemisia's journey proves the enduring wisdom of traditional medicine. Tu Youyou's Nobel-winning discovery depended entirely on ancient texts, showing that remedies refined over centuries can outperform modern pharmaceuticals when carefully studied. These plants have been used for millennia, demonstrating safety and effectiveness. Attempts to suppress or monopolize them cannot erase this knowledge. Corporations may control pills and patents, but they cannot claim ownership over a weed or centuries of accumulated experience. Wormwood's story reveals a larger truth. Accessible, natural remedies have always been a form of empowerment. This plant is more than medicine. It symbolizes self-sufficiency, historical wisdom, and the ability for communities to reclaim control over their health. Its legacy quietly defies centralized systems, showing that some of the most powerful cures grow right in plain sight, waiting for those ready to learn from history. The story of wormwood ends with a powerful lesson. Knowledge and access cannot be fully controlled. Ancient medicine gave the world Artemisinin, saving millions, yet modern systems restrict its natural use to protect profit and centralization. Community-led cultivation shows that efficacy and safety can thrive outside pharmaceutical monopolies. Wormwood is not a miracle cure-all, but it proves that centuries of wisdom, combined with rigorous science, create solutions that empower people, not corporations. From a simple garden plant to Nobel Prize-winning medicine, its journey highlights the tension between natural remedies and modern control, and shows that sometimes the simplest, most overlooked solutions are the most revolutionary.